All right, guys, welcome back to the Discover Eden podcast. My name's Brandon.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Marty.
And, well, this episode's a little bit different.
Because we're going to get our spook on.
What a spooktacular opening. So, this is going to be the Halloween episode. So, this isn't really related to the current series. This kind of goes back to the cultural intake series that we had earlier. So, we've done Christmas, we've done Easter, and, well, this is Halloween. So, a little bit different, especially given we're coming off of, a bunch of beasts and different things and merging with humans. So, why not? Kind of makes sense. And we're in that season right now of Halloween. So, how about we learn about it? Learn about the history, the origin, and just have a fun episode, I guess. Get in the seas. Anyway, I'll pray us off, and then we'll get right into it, because there's no bumper for this particular video. I know. It's a shame.
The disappointment.
Fine, just get a big pumpkin on the screen, and then... then we pop through it. Anyway, we need prayer. So, dear God, I just thank you that we're able to record stuff like this, and that we're able to kind of talk through different holidays and different things around us and kind of learn about why they are the way they are, and kind of that how we could see you in the midst of talking about Halloween and everything surrounding it. Again, Lord, guide our thoughts, guide our conversation, and just let us, at the end of the day, magnify you. All in Jesus' name, amen. All right, so we have whiteboards, though you can't really see them on the screen yet. There you go, whiteboards. The only problem is we have one marker and two whiteboards, so this will go great.
I'm afraid.
So I'll have you guys hold these whiteboards, because at first we're not going to need them.
Oh, okay.
But
Get out of here.
but we're going to do some Halloween rapid fire candy tier lists.
Ooh.
So I came up with a couple of groups. So there's 5 groups of 4 candies, and we rank them according to best to worst.
Yep.
And I tried to link similar candies together, and then there's an oddball one. And you guys can play along as well. Comment down below what your ranks are. So, group 1. We have M&M's, and this can be any variety for any of the ones that are going to be on the list. Skittles, Smarties, and Nerds. Rank in highest to best to worst of those 4.
Are we coming in with like a collective ranking or individual?
It could be collective or individual.
I mean, if anything other than M&M's is on the top of that list, your opinion is objectively wrong.
I was going to say, because M&M's you have the most variety too, because you're including every single variety.
Yeah.
So there's something for everybody there.
Yeah,
So.
exactly.
Yeah. Personally, I would say Smarties is dead last.
Smarties, what was the other one? Skittles and
Nerds.
Yeah. I can get behind Smarties going last.
I like Smarties, but yes, they're probably
I'll go Skittles second.
Skittles.
Skittles and M&M, like, I'm okay with either being at number 1, but because of the variety and the fact that I'm including every variety, so don't get at me, we're going with M&M's number 1, Skittles number 2, Nerds 3, and Smarties 4.
I haven't had
I'm good with
Nerds
that.
since probably the 4th grade. I couldn't tell you what they tasted like.
It's just sugar.
I mean,
Kind of like
it's-
Smarties.
It's Nerd Corner, Nerds.
Yeah.
They're such nerds. Anyway, group 2, we have Milky Way, Twix, Snickers, Butterfinger.
Butterfinger is last for me. I hate Butterfingers so much.
So, I mean, Snickers is one of my all-time favorites, so that's a number 1 for me.
Yep.
I would put Snickers at number 1 as well.
So what else do we have? Twix,
Twix,
Butterfinger?
Milky Bay,
Milky
Bay, Milky Bay.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, that's a new one. Milky Way and Butterfingers. I buttered that one.
Personally, I would put Twix at 2, and then Milky Way at 3, and then Butterfinger.
I
can be
could
dead
get
last.
behind that.
I can get behind that too. I mean, I like all of them. But once you get past Snickers, like, whatever order, doesn't matter to me.
Okay. So we got group 3, so this is candy corn,
Ugh.
Dots, Pixie Sticks, Swedish Fish.
Wow, you picked for the.
Yeah, can we just rank all of them number 4?
I wanted to make it interesting.
So
Yeah.
candy corn is dead last for me. That stuff is terrible.
Yeah,
I agree.
candy corn's got to be last.
Now, what gets first of Swedish Fish, Pixie Sticks, and Dots?
Pixie Sticks is just
sugar.
it's sugar, but it's gross.
See,
it's
I liked
intense.
Pixie Sticks as a kid. I don't think I've had them since then. I've never had Swedish Fish, so I can't speak to that.
Swedish Fish aren't the worst, but they're not. I wouldn't even put them close to the top of any candy list.
Like, to me,
But I know there's people who are like, Swedish Fish are the best, and
Right.
if you disagree with me, you basically are the worst person ever.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Like, for me, I would say it's either between Swedish Fish or Dots for number 1.
I don't think
but-
I've ever actually had Dots, so I
Dots.
can't speak on that.
Yeah, they're okay. I mean,
I think all 4 of them aren't great.
yeah.
But I put these in here just to spark conversation.
I would
Or
much
fight.
sooner,
Or fight.
personally, I would much sooner have Swedish Fish than any of the other 3. And that doesn't mean I like them, but
Okay, then we'll go
it
with
would-
you. We trust you.
I wouldn't trust me because I still think they're terrible. I just hate all 4 of those.
So if we
Again,
have-
but I haven't had Dots, so I can't speak.
if we have a tier list, yeah, they're all dead last. But we'll go with Swedish Fish for number 1, candy corn for dead last,
Good.
and yeah, pick your poison through the middle too.
Because they might be poison.
I wonder what would happen if you just ate Pixie Sticks for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Ooh.
You turn into a pixie. You go poof.
What happened to him? Oh, he's gonna get his stomach pumped. He's had Pixie Sticks.
You are what you eat, right? Just turned into a mound of sugar. So group 4, we have Twizzlers, Tootsie Rolls,
Ooh.
Jolly Ranchers, Starburst.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Okay, what was the second one you said?
Tootsie
Tootsie
Rolls?
Tootsie
Rolls.
Yeah.
I like those. I mean, that would probably that or Starburst would probably be number 1 for me.
Oh, really? I'd
Yeah.
put Tootsie Rolls at last for me.
I would.
do
Oh,
not.
not Tootsie Rolls. Twizzlers was the first one.
Twizzlers.
Twizzlers is the
I
first one.
love Twizzlers.
Yeah, I would put that at the last.
Yeah,
I
would put that
love
last.
Twizzlers.
I would put Twizzlers last as well.
I have a soft spot for Twizzlers. But Jolly Ranchers I could also put at 1 because I really like them. Or Starburst.
Starburst for me would be number 1, followed by Tootsie Rolls, because we're doing the rule of you can choose any. So the fruit ones are
Yeah.
good, chocolate ones terrible.
I like both.
See, I was thinking it was just the chocolate ones. They might go up with the fruit ones because I like those, but the
Yeah.
chocolate ones are disgusting.
And this is why we have the multiple varieties, because I'm not going to include every single variety, so don't come at me. But yeah, because of that, for me, I would have Starburst 1, Tootsie Rolls 2, Jolly Ranchers, then Twizzlers. For me.
What do you feel about Tootsie Pops? What's
Nah,
your opinion? No.
Yeah,
To
I
be
like them.
honest, I never wanted to get to the center of them. Sorry, Mr. Owl.
1, 2, and garbage.
Because I liked the actual sucker part, but the Tootsie Roll in the middle really killed it for me.
Yeah, so I think for me that'd be Tootsie Rolls. Wait, what was it?
Jolly Rancher, Starburst, Twizzlers.
Starburst. Tootsie Rolls, Starburst, Jolly Ranchers, Twizzlers. That would be mine.
All right.
Yeah.
Now time for the fun one.
That wasn't the candy corn one. Wasn't the fun one.
Yeah.
That one was the oddball. So this one might be hard or might be easy. Group 5, the last one that I have on here. We have Crunch, Sour Patch Kids, Junior Mints, Laffy Taffy.
Mm. Junior Mints would probably be my least favorite.
Yeah, I think out of those, I'd say the same.
I think I would probably put Sour Patch Kids as number 1. Then what were the other two? Laffy Taffy and Crunch. That one's tough. I could swap those on any given day. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for.
I would go Laffy Taffy. Probably Crunch. I don't know. I think Crunch and Sour Patch Kids are it could go either way. And then what was the other one?
Junior Mints.
Yeah, that would be last out of that grouping.
I don't even hate Junior Mints.
Yeah,
but
they're good. Just
yeah.
out of that group, it's last.
Yeah.
I guess I'll be the oddball, so I'd put probably Sour Patch at number 1, Laffy Taffy, then Junior Mints, then Crunch. I like Junior Mints. It just doesn't beat out Laffy Taffy and everything. It could maybe make a run at Laffy Taffy, but I don't know. It's neither here nor there. But that's the rapid fire round. Obviously, there's a lot more candy out there. We did not scratch the surface. So how about we scratch that surface by using the actual whiteboards, and we're ranking our top 5.
Out of the ones you mentioned, or just
No,
in general?
in general for
That's
Halloween
really
candy.
Ew.
So raisins are gonna go 1.
Raisinets. We're number
So many
1.
neighbors who are
Here's a box of raisins. Here's an apple. So how about we start with whoever has the marker? I guess.
I don't want to start.
Okay.
I mean, I'll start. That's fine. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, what am I doing?
Ranking your
top
top 5.
So I'm gonna throw Snickers at top. That's an easy number 1 for me. I'm gonna go specifically peanut butter M&Ms. I love anything peanut butter. I love M&Ms, so that's peanut butter. Like those are my top 2, but I'll go that specifically. After that, I really don't care. But if I'm forced to choose, for some odd reason, I've had a kind of a soft spot for
wax bottles.
no. As a kid, sure, but
As an adult, I'd rather die.
wait, is it Milky Way or what's the other one? Like Three Musketeers.
Three Musketeers.
That's the one with nougat in it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go either way with those, but I mean, I'll just say Three Musketeers. I've really liked those, like those recent years. Almond Joy's a good one. At this point, I'm really just pulling things out.
That's what I can think of.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what do we usually have at Halloween that's left over that I go after?
See, what's great is that like we don't have any kids in the neighborhood anymore. So
You just need
I
to
just at the door.
candy.
All right, I guess this is all for me.
1 for me, 2 for me, 1 for me.
I'll just throw Milky Way on there as a number 5.
Okay.
So I guess you can show
So
the class.
there we go.
How well it's gonna appear. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Snickers, peanut butter M&Ms, Three Musketeers, Almond Joy, Milky Way. That's a lot of chocolate. That is like all chocolate. Now that I think about that, which is funny because I don't like a ton of chocolate.
I'm just gonna keep your 1 through 5. Now I've had time to prepare. I still don't know.
I was gonna put candy corn at 1 just to mess with everyone.
All the worst things.
So number 1 for me is 100 grand.
Okay.
So I like 100 grand. Number 2 would be Payday.
That's a good one. So you go for like peanuts and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. To go along with that theme, Baby Ruth at number 3.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one. See, now I'm rethinking my list.
Oh, you know what? I forgot one of the. We'll put it at 4. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Yeah.
specifically the shaped ones.
Yeah.
They
The
taste better. I
trees
don't
and-
know what they do to them, but they
Right.
taste better.
Oh, and then where do I go? If you can't tell, I like peanuts, peanut butter.
Mhm.
It has a theme.
Yeah.
What would I do for number 5? We'll go Snickers, because you can't really go wrong with Snickers. But it's really hard because a lot of the top ones, there's a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
So showing the class. Oh man. We like out of curiosity, my family and I, we kind of looked up like, okay, what's the rankings of like some of the candies? Like one of the sites listed like 100 gram like as one of the worst, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. I feel attacked right now.
You gotta be kidding me! Really?
I like 100
Oh,
grand. I don't know
yeah.
if it would be my top 5 though.
It wouldn't be my top 5, but it is good.
I feel like my top 4 are gonna be easy. It's the 5th one I don't know
Yeah.
because at number 5 is easily a take 5.
Okay.
You mean your number 1 is Take 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I meant. What did I say?
Number 5
Number
is
five.
Take 5.
Number 1 is take 5.
I guess
It's
number,
got like the
not-
peanut butter and chocolate, but then also the pretzel.
Yeah.
So
I guess
It's
number
the
1
mix
is your
of
Take
everything.
1.
yes, exactly.
And
And then I know
Take 5.
it's not the popular opinion, but Twizzlers have to go at number 2. I'm a sucker for them. And then probably peanut M&Ms. Oops. Snickers would be 4, and then 5. I don't know. Probably a box of raisins. I'm kidding. It's a-
Candy corn.
Oh no, you're right. It's got to be the little pumpkin,
Yeah.
not the candy corn.
it might honestly be the Reese's peanut butter cup pumpkins.
There you go.
That's what's going on there. Reese's pumpkins. Woo!
So if you couldn't tell, I guess all 3 of us like peanut butter.
Yep.
Which-
Can't go wrong with peanut butter.
Yep.
Peanut butter, anything is good.
Peanut butter chocolate though, it's a combination that it just works.
Yeah, it does.
Now, like, what's some of the most bizarre things that you've seen trick or treating?
Like
Like
Being handed out?
Yeah, being handed out. Obviously, everybody knows the popcorn balls,
yeah.
and
Those are kind of like a Halloween staple though.
That's true.
but they suck.
If I'm in the right mood for a popcorn ball, like I'll have it.
My question is, how do you eat a popcorn ball?
Yeah,
Kind of like corn on the cob, you just kind of go.
Yeah, exactly. You unhinge your jaw like a snake. As wide as you can.
I know.
Caramel apples were sometimes handed out in our neighborhood, which I like them.
Yeah, I like caramel apples.
Mhm.
Those are good.
Um,
So one of the funny things in our neighborhood is there are a couple people that live right across the street, like further down, like halfway down our street. They have candy and stuff that they give out for the kids and treats for the adults. So you can imagine shots of whatever.
So
That's a little
Jell-O.
weird. Yeah, Jell-O, yeah.
I've seen Famous Amos cookies
okay.
as something that's handed out, little packets of those. I'm like, okay.
That's interesting.
We went to that house.
I always love going to the houses that gave out full candy bars.
Oh yeah, there was the one house that had like, I don't know, the candy dots things.
Hmm.
Like you go to Meijer or whatever. It was they used to have
Like the whole
like
strip
the
of
whole
them.
strip. Yeah,
Yep.
we had that. I'm like, I don't know what these are, but they exist.
Yeah, it's just sugar.
Then we had Heath bars.
I
Different-
like Heath bars.
Yeah, I do like Heath bar. Heath bar almost made my list of top 5. Because then we make Heath cookies because you shatter them and put them in cookies.
Yeah.
It's good. But that's besides the point.
Yeah.
Other unique things. I've seen the caramel apple.
I've seen some places hand out cans of pop. There were
Oh, really?
Two or three places when I was a kid, they would hand that out. Like, all right,
Funniest thing I've seen is somebody hands you floss and a toothbrush.
Yup.
Yeah. You know where the dentists live.
They're also the house that gets TP'd afterwards.
Yeah.
I've seen trail mix get handed out, like little bags of trail mix.
Huh.
We had one lady in our neighborhood who it was the raisin lady too. She would always, she never had candy. It was always, here's a healthy alternative.
yeah.
And it was like, nobody went to that house.
Right.
People stopped going when they realized they were just getting raisins and trail mix.
Maybe that's how you get people to stop.
That's probably what
No,
you're
that was
saying.
intentional.
These are for the kiddos. Oh, but the kiddos don't like healthy stuff.
Yeah.
So, guess it's see ya.
Yeah.
Bye.
Or you see a sign at the end, some kid staked a sign at the end of the door. Nothing to see here. Move along.
Well,
Anyway.
then you had the houses too, where they just had the bucket out
Yeah.
and
Help yourself.
help yourself or take one. Nobody ever took one.
No.
It was,
Yeah.
I'll come back later.
Anyway, that's enough for the candy aspect there. Now let's actually go into some of the history behind Halloween. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, or I guess
The candy.
squash,
Snicker and
pumpkins,
yeah.
the pumpkins and everything. Pumpkin spice, maybe. Except it has nothing to do with it. But anyway, so off the cuff, when you think of Halloween, what is your stance on it in a faith perspective?
Personally, I'm indifferent to it. Like, we celebrate it. Kids get dressed up and that, go hand out candy. I've always handed out candy. When I was a kid, I went and got candy. Granted, when I was a kid, that was before I came to Christ, so I think a lot of that carries over. I also grew up on horror movies and that whole genre anyway, so a lot of that stuff doesn't bother me anyway. But even so, knowing what I know now and knowing the history of Halloween, I'm still indifferent to it. I see them as separate things because we don't celebrate Halloween as it originally was. So,
Fair. Yeah, I mean, for me, we grew up going trick-or-treating, dressing up, handing out candy. So that aspect of it, I never really had an issue with. It's as I've gotten older and my faith has kind of become more of my own rather than what my parents just kind of, taught us as kids. I've had more complicated feelings towards it. On the one end, like, I don't really have an issue with kids dressing up and getting candy. But then there's the other aspect of Halloween where it's got like the occultish kind of vibes to it, where I kind of wrestle with that. Like, I don't love that aspect, and does that still connect? Can you separate the two from each other? I think so, but I also don't know. Like, and I just, I've got complicated feelings towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm similar to Jonathan as well, where growing up, my brain was not in that vein direction at all. It was sugar.
yeah, ooh, candy.
So I could care less.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I'm like, ooh, candy. I like candy. I like this holiday. And then when you get older, you realize kind of the why behind the holiday. And then when you do research, when you look at the origin, then you go, I'm having second thoughts. And then obviously you have that kind of a cultish thing as well. And for me, something I've seen at least is I see people get way more decked out for Halloween than even like Christmas or anything like that. With whether it's the thing, and it's what it's showing as well. So you're showing basically things like skeletons and other occultish and different things like that. Which, when you're a kid, you don't really understand or mind it as much. But, when you're growing up, I'm like, what message is this really sending? Different things like that. And the horror and everything aspect of it 2 kind of lends into why I don't really like it as much. And maybe part of that's because I just don't like horror as a genre. But at the same time, like, I don't understand the point of let's scare the pee out of someone. Like like I don't know, like something that especially when I was kids as well, there were like high schoolers that would go around dressed up in like ghillie suits or hide and basically scare children and steal their candy.
Yeah.
Just because they could.
Mm-hmm.
And like to me, I'm like, that, and then they use the excuse of, oh, it's Halloween, ha ha ha, get pranked.
Yeah.
And some of that, I'm like, I don't like that.
I think one of the interesting things for me is I never really experienced that side of it. Like I knew about people that were
Yeah.
doing that type of stuff, but that never hit home, kind of thing.
And maybe it's because I live right next to the high school, so, or right around that area, so I saw it happen. And I don't know, it kind of turned me off of it. And then as I grew older, obviously I did trick or treating less and less and less.
Yep.
The last couple of years, I just basically went in my Red Wings stuff, donned my roller skates, and made some good time.
We're gonna make this quick. Get in, get out. We'll be back in a half an hour.
As in, I went to all the good spots, including the one that gives the really large candy bars. They had a wooden staircase to go all the way up to the things, and I went with my rollerblades
Oh man.
up the staircase and
fell
down
4
this.
times.
No, I didn't fall. But you had to go up there because that's the good stuff. But yeah, different things like that. But long story short, similar to Jonathan, where I understand, I like aspects of it, but then I have second thoughts as I've grown older. So let's go into kind of the origins of Halloween. So I took a lot of this from history.com, so like the History Channel, different things that you know that. Same logo. A lot of this is just taken straight from the website, kind of copy paste. So there you go. Free of charge. So from the beginning. So the tradition originated with the ancient Celtic ritual of Samhain. And this is when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. So in the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor all saints. So I'm giving a brief summary because that's kind of what it does at the beginning, and then we'll go into it. So November 1st, time to honor the saints, All Saints Day. So soon, All Saints Day incorporated some of the traditions of Samhain. Part of the reason for this was to try to overwrite it. So they're trying to overwrite the pagan tradition with a Christian thing. Because that'll get rid of it.
Good old cultural appropriation.
So then the evening before All Saints Day was known as All Hallows Eve, and later Halloween. So over time, Halloween evolved into a day of activities like trick-or-treating, carving jack-o'-lanterns, festive gatherings, and, well, dressing up and eating treats. So, let's kind of backtrack a little bit. What's Samhain? So Samhain was a pagan religious festival originated from an ancient Celtic spiritual tradition. It's usually celebrated from October 31st to November 1st to welcome in the harvest and usher in the dark half of the year, the dark months. So celebrants believe that the barriers between the physical world and the spiritual world would break down during Samhain, allowing more interaction between humans and denizens of the other world, or the netherworld. So ghosts, other monsters, demons, if you will, things like that. So one such monster, and I'm saying this from a video game perspective because I recognized it, is the Dullahan. So, where does the Dullahan originate? Samhain. Other things, the Headless Horseman, different things like that, also from this same area and region. So, for the Celts, this day, right before the dark or dead of winter months, was believed to be the day where the boundary between the living and dead were blurred, when ghosts returned to the earth.
Mhm.
And some of this is interesting when we talk about something later on. So, again, forwarding a little bit. So, on May 13, 609 AD, Pope Boniface IV dedicated the Pantheon in Rome in honor of all Christian martyrs, and the Catholic Feast of All Martyrs Day was established in the Western Church. This goes back to Pope Gregory. Pope Gregory III later expanded the festival to include all saints as well as all martyrs, and moved the observance from May 13 to November 1st. Again, placing it in front of this pagan ritual tradition. So in the year 1000, the church made November 2nd All Souls Day, a day to honor the dead. It's widely believed today that the church was attempting to replace the Celtic festival of the dead with a related church-sanctioned holiday. Appropriation.
Yep.
So, All Souls Day was celebrated similarly to Samhain, with big bonfires. As in Samhain, they would light a big bonfire, kind of as a celebratory thing, and also to kind of ward off bad spirits and different things like that. And they would offer animal sacrifices, different things like that. So, they kept the bonfire because bonfires are warm, and that keeps you warm. But I gotta go find it again. With big bonfires, parades, and dressing up as costumes as saints, angels, and devils. So they transformed the thing into, okay, now it's saints, angels, and devils, because that makes things better.
Yeah.
Why's little Jimmy dressed as the devil? It's okay. It's okay. I swear.
It's sanctified, don't worry.
Get that holy water, pour it on him. So the All Saints Day celebration was also called All Hallows or All Hallowmas, from the Middle English All Hallowmas, meaning All Saints Day, which later turned into Halloween. And this began, obviously, the traditional night of Samhain. So, yeah. So, the history of trick-or-treating, because I wanted to look that up. In the late 1800s, there was a movement to mold Halloween into a holiday about community and neighborly get-togethers, then about ghost pranks and witchcraft, which is what they initially were. And another interesting tidbit is that in kind of a relationship with All Saints Day, there was a practice of the going door to door and asking for food or money. So this idea of kind of going door to door and everything, that originated from All Saints Day. Because that obviously was not a practice in the bonfires and dressing up to scare away the ghosts because you're afraid that they're going to kidnap you or take you into the other world. Yeah. So going door to door for that kind of thing. So almost like, please help me, or different things like that, or to give it to the poor, different things like that. That's how it initially was designed, I would say. Mm-hmm. It obviously now it looks a little bit different than that. But anyway, so in the late 1800s, basically they wanted to get rid of the religious undertones. This goes both ways, for the witchcraft and also for the Christian undertones.
Yep.
So it became more secular, yet still borrows some of the tradition from, well, everything that kind of has affected it in this point, because of, well, the colonists that came over. They still carried some of those things, and Halloween's really only celebrated in, well, the US and maybe Mexico a little bit, but we'll get to that. So eventually later on, they wanted to target a younger audience. So around the 1920s and 1950s, with the introduction of trick-or-treating, bringing it back, they wanted to alter it to include candy as a way to get children involved. And that's what we see today as trick-or-treating. Long story short. So, interesting. They still take from a Christian holiday or remembrance or feast or whatever that was initially placed in May but moved forward because of appropriation and all that kind of stuff. All intermingling together, and congratulations, we have Halloween and the trick-or-treating that we know of. Another fun fact, did you know that carving pumpkins didn't used to be on pumpkins?
Wasn't it turnips?
It was turnips. Yeah. Found that, I'm like, huh, this is a jacket turnip. Or a jacked up turnip. Whatever you want to be. So that was something. And then another day that kind of comes to mind when you think of Halloween is Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, in Mexico. So this is a Mexican holiday where families welcome back the souls of their deceased relatives for a brief reunion that includes food, drink, and celebration. A blend of Mesoamerican ritual, European religion, and Spanish culture, the holiday is celebrated each year from October 31st to November 2nd. While October 31st is Halloween, November 1 and 2 is All Souls Day or Day of the Dead. According to tradition, the gates of heaven are opened at midnight on October 31st, and the spirits of children can rejoin their families for 24 hours. The spirits of adults can do the same on November 2nd. Brief overview. So, the roots of Dia de los Muertos go back some 3,000 years to the Aztecs that had a view that saw death as integral and cyclical, where this is this whole death and rebirth narrative. They viewed death in a very positive light, as opposed to the Europeans who viewed it in fear, who feared death.
Right.
Whereas on the flip side, this is more of a positive undertone.
Yeah.
And you kind of see that with the overplay of Day of the Dead versus Halloween.
Yeah, it's just a natural part of life.
And it's more celebratory versus we got to outscare the scary things. So, upon dying, a person was believed to travel to, and I'm going to butcher some of these names. Chikunamanicuan, the land of the dead. So I butchered it.
Yeah, you tried though.
Yeah.
Yep, I tried saying it fast,
Good attempt.
and it didn't work. Exactly. Only after getting through 9 challenging levels, a journey of several years, could the person's soul finally reach Mictlan, the final resting place. So I'm gonna stop there because I'm like, it kind of reminds me of like the 7 layers of hell,
Dante's Inferno.
Dante's Inferno. I don't think they're related, but to be completely honest, I have no idea.
No, they're not.
No,
They're not related.
I didn't think so, but
Don't-
it made me think of it.
Yeah. Dante's Inferno was very targeted towards certain people and groups.
Yeah, but it's the whole 7 and aspects of, yeah, it just made me think of it, or I guess 9, but
yeah.
So in Nahua, rituals honoring the dead traditionally held in August, family members provided food, water, and tools to aid the deceased in the difficult journey. This inspired the contemporary Day of the Dead practice, in which people leave food or other offerings on their loved ones' graves, or set them on makeshift altars in their homes. So, with the Spanish conquistadors' influence, they incorporated some practice of All Saints' Day. So, it's kind of tying into a little bit of the Halloween practice. And also brought with them a darker undertone of death. So, yeah. So, it's not, as people would think, a Mexican version of Halloween. It is different. It has a different origin.
And different purpose.
And different purpose. They do share the same traditions by association at that point. Which includes costumes and parades, different things like that. But for, again, different reasons. On the Day of the Dead, it's believed that the border between the spirit world and the real world dissolves. So there isn't a border.
Mm-hmm.
Where in the other one, it opens up.
Yeah, it thins out.
So during this brief period, the souls of the dead awaken and return to the living world to feast, drink, dance, and play music with their loved ones. So, kind of a good example, or somewhat of a good example of this would be the Disney, the movie. I can't remember. Coco. Yeah.
It's a good movie.
So, if you want a better example of kind of what that looks like, obviously they have a little bit of a darker undertone with the story there, but it's, I think, a decent representation of Day of the Dead. So in turn, the living family members treat the deceased as honored guests in their celebrations and leave the deceased's favorite foods and other offerings at grave sites or at those altars. So that's kind of difference between Day of the Dead, Halloween. Any other comments or thoughts regarding that?
So one other kind of interjection in the history of it all is that even Rome appropriated the Celtic holiday. So didn't mention it in there, but in 1st century, so the Celtic origin of Halloween is like 2nd to 4th century BC. Rome in the 1st century kind of had their own things when they conquered the Celts. Took in, as Rome does, they welcome every religion and every belief and all that. Come one, come all, whatever you want. And so they brought that in, but they also had their own what was it
called? Was like some harvest festival that they had.
Yep. So Feralia was commemorating the passing of the dead, and then also the goddess of the harvest. So they added their own little twist on that, and then add in 7 centuries later, the church comes in, and church is, in bed with Rome essentially at that point, and doing a lot of the same things. So,
and then obviously, so a lot of the culture influence that it has, it's not like the tradition went away; it just morphed and changed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, going back to our cultural intake series, that's what happens a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Is something happens, but it never truly vanishes. It just morphs and changes. And some people can be more available to accept or adapt to those changes, and there's going to be those that kind of go against it or different things like that. And as Christians, like, where do we stand on some of these things? Like, we're called to be, in the world but not of it. And how do we do that with something like Halloween? What should our stance be? Like, at the same time, like, when I think of it, I don't want to dismiss the original origins of it. But at the same time, I have to recognize that it also has changed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I shouldn't let that change how I view some of the narratives that's talking about, say, life and death.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I don't really think nowadays people really think of life and death when they think of Halloween. I think most people think of, well, candy.
Candy. Yeah.
Candy and horror flicks.
Yeah.
I'm not huge into the whole horror flicks and everything and why that's so popular and mainstream. Because again, this is kind of where my hesitancy comes. I'm like, I don't know what message that's really spreading, and if it's really positive, or building up of other people versus, well, I don't know. I don't want to say it's like spreading discord necessarily, but it almost kind of feels like that at times. Or when people get almost too enveloped in, oh, let's fully commit to we're going to put skeletons on everything.
Kind of the
and
macabre aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling you before we started recording, when we first got here, I've been kind of contemplating this whole thing all week, and there has been one verse that has just clung to the back of my mind, and I have it pulled up, but because I kind of want to share it. 1 Corinthians 10:23, where Paul says, I have the right to do anything you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but not everything is constructive. And for me, when I look at that, and looking at this discussion of Halloween, it's like, I think there is constructive and beneficial elements to the holiday in the sense of the community outreach that you can do with it. And you see churches engaging in that with Fall Fest or different activities, trunk or treat. And I don't want to dismiss that, but I think there is the aspect where there are some people who are more susceptible to fall in line with some of the darker side of it. And at that point, you could say, yeah, you can engage in it, but is it going to be healthy for you spiritually to do so? And if the answer is no, and you're going to be susceptible to those things, then maybe it's time for you to take a step back. And that's kind of where I've been at this week. Again, I don't want to knock the aspects of it that can be positive, the community aspects, the outreach aspects. But there is that other side to it that I think we do need to be aware of and be careful of when we celebrate, Halloween and stuff like that.
And obviously with the introduction of how they dressed up as saints, angels, and demons. Well, you don't see angels and saints anymore.
No. You see Superman and the Devil and the Ninja Turtles.
And it's the fact that a lot of more effort has gone into the demon side.
Yeah.
That concerns me going forward for some of these other things.
Sure.
Obviously you have the good aspects that you mentioned with the community building community, and I think with the 1800s that was a very wise
100%
decision. To get away from the witchcraft and everything, but I've almost seen it kind of starting to reverse and turn ship.
Yeah.
And go back into more of the macabre and some of the aspect where I don't think it's healthy. And at least looking at it from a Christian perspective, because what is it really teaching at that point? And your kids, you're being formed by some of these things, and you see it more and more where they get more and more macabre or more and more these ways. What does it really say?
Sure.
And obviously this is kind of my struggle with Halloween. As I've grown older, I'm not sure I like Halloween anymore. Maybe that's because I grew out of the candy phase, and then I realized, guess what? Maybe this Halloween thing isn't that great for some of the origins that it has, but at the same time, you learn of All Saints Day, which you don't hear that at all for Halloween. You hear Halloween for all the pagan influence that it has versus the Christian influence that it once had.
Yeah, I mean, like I said at the beginning, I have a complicated relationship and feeling about the holiday. and I can't discount the good, but I can't discount the bad either. And it's really, I mean, you look at anything, a lot of these holidays you look at and you say, well, okay, there's, pagan influence here, but then there's also the Christian influence there.
I mean, even with Christmas,
And we
you
talked
see-
about that
yeah.
when we did the Christmas episode. There's pagan influences there, but it does feel different with Christmas, at least to me, because I feel like the Christian element has been
It's still
it's
there.
still there and it's still very heavily present. And the pagan element isn't, not to say that it's good, but it's not this macabre sort of dark,
It's not Krampus.
yes. Yeah. Well, it's not this occultish aspect
Yeah.
to it that you see with Halloween. And so maybe it's negligence on my part where I can just kind of brush that to the side and say, let's just forget about that. Whereas here it feels much more at the forefront of the
And I mean,
discussion.
with any of these, and I don't think it's without reason, and I think this appropriation is very fitting for a lot of these, with Christmas, Easter, and even All Saints Day.
Mhm.
For all three of these, kind of fitting along all these pagan
Yeah.
rituals and things. Like Easter, for example, very pagan, very pagan. There's still a lot of pagan influence there, and when most people think of Easter, I mean, obviously in America, a lot of it now goes. Well, you think of the church because you have the creasters, you have people
Yeah.
at Christmas and Easter, so obviously those are going to have more of a Christian influence. But then you have bunnies and Easter eggs,
Mhm.
which are the pagan influence. And then Christmas. Somehow Santa Claus exists, which is like a mixture of. It's a melting pot.
Yeah.
Is basically what happened there. Mix a bunch of things together, which is pagan and Christian. Congratulations, you have big bearded old man in the North Pole with a sleigh with presents,
Flying reindeer.
with flying reindeer with one that has a red nose. Bizarre how things can happen, and America gotta love it sometimes with some of its interpretations, or I guess creative liberties, we'll call it. Liberty is one way to put it. It's free in all aspects. But yeah, it's interesting. Like for me, like going back to Halloween, I'm okay with like the fall festival kind of thing, like harvest, like that aspect of it. I get and I understand because you see that and it mixes with the crop season overload,
Sure.
and so like seeing pumpkins and cornucopia, different things like that, like on steps and everything, fall leaves, not a problem. Not a problem for me. And even jack-o'-lanterns to some degree, not a problem. Because it's more, I would say, a artistic, creative way to do things.
Sure.
Obviously, you be wise with what you put on them. I think one of the best ones that we did Pac-Man. So we had like a whole like game board and everything.
that's
with
awesome.
Pac-Man, where you like scrape instead of like hollow out.
Yep.
So you can see the light changes, and yeah. So there's fun things you could do with it, like, and some of those I think are really creative and fun.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I didn't look up the whole pumpkin carving tradition. I mean, besides the turnip aspect, you can't really be so artistic with a turnip.
Yeah.
But but yeah, it's stuff like that. Like I'm okay with that side, but it's more the macabre undertones of Halloween that I don't really enjoy. Like as a kid, I had one completely different mindset, and then as I've grown older, I realized some of the things that younger me just is completely oblivious to.
Yeah.
And that goes with anything in culture really. And then you realize how much you've been like informed or almost appropriated into
Mhm.
while growing up. And it's interesting to kind of take a step back and go, now what do I actually think about some of these things?
Yeah.
Like, what does it mean for me? Like, why do I do what I do?
And I think that also gets into kind of what, we've talked about. You guys are both kind of struggling with this whole thing. What do I actually think about this? And where I've said, I'm kind of indifferent to the whole thing because I look at it from, yes, I know the history of it. I understand the origins of it. I understand the appropriation of it and got all that. I understand that, some people are for it, some people are against it. I also get the whole 1800s thing that it became this more secular. Like, forget religion altogether. Who cares about either side of that? Let's just do this community thing. And, where the church has kind of gone as a more fall fest type of thing. Now we've entered into that side of it, and I think that's where I look at that more is that, all right, it's just this fun community thing. Like,
Yeah.
I take it as more of the secular thing. So forget it all. Who cares?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's kind of what Paul talks about too with like, the eating of meat that was sacrificed to idols. Well, to one, it's, an unholy thing, but to another, it's perfectly fine.
Sure.
Just be aware of what's happening with your brethren and how that's affecting them. So it comes down to a matter of conscience,
Yeah.
and that's where a lot of these holidays kind of come for me too. Like I can look at Halloween and be okay with that. And I'm more annoyed by Christmas. Like every year that rolls around, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like here we are again. And, and it's the whole, with Christmas, it's not, yes, we're celebrating Christ and the birth, even though, forget dates and details and all that stuff, whatever. None of that matters. Our focus,
appropriation.
yeah, our focus is on Christ, but as a society, especially Western or American society, we look at that in more of the materialistic view.
The consumer.
Exactly,
heavy.
it's all consumerism.
Yeah.
And I think
so
that kind of goes true with all of the kind of holidays that we see.
Yeah.
Not just Christmas, but I see that also with Halloween as well.
Yeah.
Especially candy,
Yep.
all that kind of stuff.
Candy, costumes, you name it.
So I think America in general has kind of gone that direction
Oh, yeah.
with a lot of the holidays. And look at Thanksgiving, for example. Well, it's not really about Thanksgiving anymore. It's about Black Friday and
Yeah.
Cyber Monday, and well, you got the NFL games that are on Thanksgiving. Like, what is Thanksgiving turned into?
Right.
Oh, it's more
Just
consumeristic.
another consumer holiday.
So, I mean, obviously, that's for a whole nother conversation.
But I actually really appreciate that what you mentioned about the clean and unclean meats sort of thing, because I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to think about it in that way. Like, let's just acknowledge what the effects are and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't even think about that. But
It's definitely something that you need to kind of look into as well, like in your, not just around you, but in yourself as
Mhm.
well, because like at the end of the day, we kind of think for ourselves, but at the same time we have to be cognizant and aware of the people around us.
Yep.
And so often our culture is me, individualistic.
Yep.
But at the same time, you also have to be aware of what's around you. And with the whole consumer, it's kind of shrunk our field, so to speak. So how do we, like, again, going back to how do we be the church in the midst of, like, the holidays that we're in? So for our church, for example, we do like trunk or treat, fall fest, different things like that, to kind of reach out into the community, be that influence that, is, more than just an individual. It's more of a community aspect, kind of bringing it back to kind of the original 1800s. It's supposed to be neighborly. It's supposed to, all that kind of good stuff.
Yep.
And like and that kind of ties into how we can be in the world, but not of it. So we're in the culture, but we're not letting the culture define
Mhm.
what we're doing. So whereas the culture is maybe a little bit more materialistic and different things like that. Now, granted, with Trunk or Treat, it's still materialistic.
Yeah.
But I think that's more of a problem of America
Yeah.
than anything else. But the heart behind it, I think, is there.
Well, I mean, you could say the same thing with every holiday, though. I mean, it's
Well,
yeah.
America. Like,
We are the modern day Rome.
I
I mean, when it comes down to
The
it.
ultimate melting pot.
Yeah.
But yeah. Any other thoughts or any other fun little things we can do at the end, like the candy thing? Or do we just abruptly, awkwardly end?
it seems par for
as
the course.
per
Yeah.
Well, don't accuse any witches.
Unless they
Don't.
float.
Yep. If it floats,
Um,
must be a witch.
I'm just going to Monty Python now.
He said that, and I immediately was like, okay, first Monty Python, which quote comes to
I
mind?
was
Yep.
definitely going that direction,
Yeah.
but yeah. Yeah, so if you see somebody that floats, be warned. Anyway, don't let the bite bugs bite. Good night.